just by saying, hey, I know a lot of people are, making light of Donald Trump's remarks from Pennsylvania, like, yesterday, but we're really in a pretty unprecedented time. I don't really have any words for this. I mean, I can make the ha ha ha, like, oh, Donald Trump he watched The Purge and now he wants that as official policy of the state. But I mean, just give this a watch.
Do it because the liberal left won't let them do it. The liberal left wants to destroy him, and they want to destroy our country. You know, if you had one day, like one real rough, nasty day with the drugstores, as an example, but they have to be taught. Now, if you had one really violent day, like a guy like Mike Kelly, put him in charge, Congressman Kelly, put him in charge for one day. Mike, would you say, he's right here, it's a chain of events that's so bad. One rough hour.
Like, you can tell, like, this is edited, but that's because he keeps going back to this point. He keeps going back to this point.
And I mean real rough. The word will get out, and it will end immediately. End immediately. You know, it'll end immediately. Crooked Joe Biden, do it.
I mean, like, let's be honest about what this is, because I made a joke on Twitter about this being like, oh, it's Donald Trump, like, unironically embracing the plot of the Purge movies. But let's be realistic about what he's advocating for here. He's essentially saying we need a Kristallnacht. Like that, full stop. Full stop. We need a violent day to purge the undesirables from our communities. He is advocating for a Kristallnacht. The infamous day during which the Nazi Party organized mass unrest against Jewish people. Yeah, the other thing that comes to mind, QETP, is Day of the Rope Nazi shit, which I guess, is very similar. Which, and for those who don't know, Day of the Rope in Nazi circles is like the day that they get to hang all of their political enemies in the United States. Yeah, it's, I mean, like, we do like to laugh and guffaw about how Donald Trump is a buffoon, is silly, is stupid, etc. But, like, when we're looking down the barrel of this particular election cycle, we need to be aware of what we're up against. And frankly, yeah, he's getting worse. And I do want to say, while I think that Kamala Harris will win this election, it's going to be very uncomfortably close. The kind of coin flip you don't want to take with democracy. Like, again, we've been covering the Project 2025. He has a plan in place to get yes men at various levels of government that are not going to curtail his power in this regard. We need people to vote. And, like, if you're one of those people who's on the fence, like, we need you to go out and vote and volunteer. I know it fucking sucks, because a lot of people are disillusioned with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, especially when it comes to the issue of Gaza and now Lebanon. But this is what we're staring down. We're staring down a guy who wants to undo democracy, who has a plan in place to put people in power that would aid him in doing that, and who is now openly advocating for a recreation of Kristallnacht. I don't know how much clearer it can be what the stakes are. The DNC should have invited that Palestinian speaker. I 100% agree with you, Melanie. That a lot of goofs have been goofed, both by accident and deliberately by the DNC. But unfortunately, the cards have landed where they've landed, and we need to deal with the hand we've been dealt. And it sucks. It sucks that Democrats are so woefully incompetent. Yeah, the people who aren't paying close attention, Omega Star, think that safeguards are still there, and they're not, guys. The only reason Joe Biden isn't, like, going full-on dictator right now is because, frankly, he's spineless. Like, the Supreme Court basically handed him a blank check to do anything without any kind of legal consequence. And he hasn't been able to do a damn thing with that power. You think Donald Trump, a literal moron, wouldn't take advantage of every drop of power that has now been invested in the presidency? God. So, it's incumbent upon us to shoulder the load that the Democratic Party is too inept to you know, pull over the finish line. His first term was just warming up. Well, his first term, he thought he had surrounded himself with yes men and sycophants, but he didn't really count on people in middle management not like actually caring about rules and regulations and not just doing what he said. And he has a plan to correct that this time. So, I don't know. All I'm saying is, this is alarming rhetoric. Like, the escalation has gone from, like, targeting undocumented immigrants to now legal immigrants. And from there, we've gone from legal immigrants to just criminals in society. And guys, do you know who's labeled criminals in society? In Florida, it's gay and trans people for existing. Like, there was just a story about a 15-year-old volleyball player in Florida who got outed, and the state law enforcement agents showed up to her parents' house, to her mom's house, to request like medical records. They compared like medical records to like to see if there were like weight changes during puberty. They also like investigated in like her circle of friends to see if she had if anyone had seen nudes of her or like seen her naked in the changing room that could like confirm that she was trans. Like, if you think that like we're that far off from there being literal gender police, especially if like conservatives win like the White House, you're like you're kind of on something right now, because we have that already in solid red states like Florida. Makes me sick. It makes me sick too. They're investigating this thing.